All right, so we have the Lamborghini Aventador. I guess it's a 14. Is it a 13 or 14?
Actually, this is a 2012. They make so few of these cars, actually. So in the press fleet, they have the 2012. The 13s and 14s are going to essentially be the same. There's going to be some changes to the 14. Actually, cylinder deactivation on the 14. So it goes from a 12-cylinder to a 6 when you're on the freeway. But every 2 minutes, it has to switch from one bank to the other. So it'll go 6-cylinder on one side, 6-cylinder on the other.
So it'll literally become a straight 6,
yes.
or a slant 6.
Yeah.
It'll become like a Dodge Dart engine.
Yeah, pretty much. It turns itself into
and it has to keep switching for cooling purposes?
I think more about just wear on the engine and stuff,
yeah.
But this one is...
So, and that's literally just for cafe standards?
That's it. It's for... Oh, and it has auto start and stop, which is the one feature that kind of seems to really annoy all of us.
So if you are going to spend $450,000 for a supercar, you have to also factor in gas mileage, or at least as the country and state.
Well, this one gets about 11 miles to the gallon in the city, and I don't think I'm getting that yet. I think that's a little the way I've been driving it. So this car, it's actually pretty amazing, as you can imagine. 6.5 liter V12, 4 valves per cylinder. Do the math on that.
Yeah, so it's a V12. It's naturally aspirated and it's putting out
691 horsepower. It's like a K&N air filter away from being 700.
Wow. So about 700 horsepower.
And it just pulls forever, like well into like 8,000 RPMs. This thing is still pulling.
Unbelievable.
It's all-wheel drive.
Oh, supercar. Yeah, and the styling is great because sometimes stuff gets a little too angular and a little too sharp and a little slabby, and you kind of lose me. I like aggressive, but but this is very Batmobile-esque. I especially this rear end. And when I say Batmobile, I mean stealth fighter. I mean, this is really looks like a stealth fighter, and it's great because it's vented in the rear glass here, but it's actually glass.
Yeah, and this glass is actually an upgrade.
And the suspension is insane because it's horizontal, not vertical.
When you bring the shocks up in here, you remove weight from the suspension, the unsprung weight. Mm-hmm. And of course, it's about a $1,200 option to get the yellow springs to match your calipers.
Yeah.
But you got to do it, right? You have to do it.
Do we know what this blue is called?
I don't. Off the top of my head, I don't know what it's called. It's probably written down on one of the papers, but it is another like $8,000 or $9,000 option. But it looks amazing. You see the cars and all the photos, they're like a lime green or a bright orange. This blue is gorgeous.
And one thing I always love about Lamborghini is when they go with the contrast stitching.
Yes.
So here you go. You have this electric blue car. You have the yellow brake calipers. You have the yellow shock springs. And of course, they brought that into the interior with the yellow stitching on the black or charcoal interior.
Giant carbon ceramic brakes all the way around. It stops amazingly. The most surprising thing to me about this car is really how easy it is to drive. It still has a single clutch transmission, so it has that sort of jerkiness to it.
Yeah.
But once you start getting into it and start driving it fast, it's a really well-mannered car. It's very easy to drive.
And one thing I can say too, I drove the car as well. It doesn't. I mean, nice big mirrors. No real blind spots on the car. I mean, for traditionally cars like this, tons of blind spots. Can't see when you're driving. So and so. I mean, and Lamborghini has a rich history between either the Miura or the Countach, or cars like you get into and good luck changing lanes, just speed up and change. This car is very drivable and very visible when you're inside of the car, and then of course to everyone outside the car, you can be seen from outer space.
And that's the thing, it's like once you kind of get over the fact that everyone is looking at you, and then you start driving it for the pure performance of what it is, it really is an amazing performer car. I've been driving it for a few days. I took this thing all through the Malibu canyons and hauled ass through there, and it's just one of the most amazing performing cars I've ever driven.
Well, normally at this point we show you the interior and we fire the car up, but we're going to fire it up anyway because we're going to go drive this bad boy. So do not go anywhere. watch some incredible footage. We're going to put some cameras on the car, one inside, couple on the outside, and we'll take this thing for a nice hot lap around the neighborhood.
So foot on the brake. Open that. Yeah. And then this button here will lift the front.
Holy guacamole.